So did you have, a mental strategy for getting yourself into the right mindset as a pregame routine, or
Not
was that
really.
sort of it?
Um, I did the same things, routine every day when I got to the golf course before my tee time. Um, but as for thinking about it and trying to go through it, I just naturally did the same thing. I'm sure as most people do, but um, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. And I guess as far as, from course management and preparing for the day and getting into the right frame of mind, when you do actually get in the pre-shot routine, how important is that to your success?
It's it's probably the most important thing you have out on the golf course is your pre-shot routine. If there's 3 people watching or 10,000 people watching, you go through the same routine. It's very important, and the only way to basically, you know, work at that is just going through it on the range and hitting balls and going through your routine every shot on the range. It used to take me for a large bucket of balls, about 60 balls. It used to take me about an hour and 15 minutes to hit that, and I'd go through my routine um, on every shot, and people used to look at me and, geez, what are you doing? But you have to. A shot on the range is the same thing as a shot in a tournament round. You have to go through the same routine and just think that it's just as important as a tournament shot, and it is just as important, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess just to break down pre-shot routine, I see when you're playing with anybody really, whether it be a high handicapper or low handicapper, as an observer, they go through the same physical steps, it would seem, on every shot, whether they think about it or not. Do you differentiate the physical aspect of a pre-shot routine and the mental aspect?
I don't think so. Um, I mean, basically, they all go together for me. I don't get too technical in trying to, uh, you know, split those. I just,
But you definitely have your mental thought process is the same, just
yeah,
as your physical process is the same
yeah,
on each shot. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. So, it took you 3 years to win on the Canadian Tour, and I know that you expected to win in your first year, and then you expected to win in the second year, and how did you handle that delayed success? You were close a couple of times and you didn't win. So was that kind of motivation to work harder? Was it frustrating? How did you take that?
Yeah, it was motivation to work harder. Having finished second and third and fourth a few times, you get that taste of success, and you're so close, but you just have to keep working at it, and it was motivation for me to keep working hard. It didn't get me down that I didn't win the first year or second year. It would have been a little bit of a surprise for me probably to win in the first year, but second year definitely not. Once I was a little more comfortable out there, um, but third year I totally expected it. In every tournament I teed it up from the second year, and probably half of the first year on, I expected to win.
Okay. So I guess from what you just said, it kind of sounded like your belief in being able to win got stronger and stronger, and it didn't really happen until you were fully, fully committed to winning.
Yeah, you got to feel comfortable. The first 5 or 6 tournaments, you're just kind of feeling things out, and how good are these guys? What does it take out here to win? And once I realized what it took to win, it didn't take that long. I realized this is totally achievable, and I expected to win. All growing up, you just once you get out there, you got to kind of realize what it takes, and it didn't take that long. But yeah, totally
Yeah.
focused on winning.
And I suppose, getting back to the guys that you hung out with as well, I suspect, but I'd like to get your opinion. I mean, if you're hanging out with the guys that are winning, and did you see yourself as equal to them, or did that influence, your confidence that, so and so can win, so I can do it too?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You
Okay.
know, I playing against those guys that I grew up with. We're on the same Canadian amateur team, Gillespie and all those guys, David Hearn. You look back the first couple of years or first year, you're like, these guys, just because they're from Ontario and I'm from a little place, you don't really get to play with them a whole lot. But you know, soon after you realize that they're the same caliber of player as me, and anybody can go out and win. If I can play with these guys, I can, and they're winning, I can win too.
Yeah. Okay. So anytime anybody is very successful, it seems there's lots of challenges and obstacles to that success, and just wondering if you had to deal with any adversity, or if there's anything that comes to your mind that stood out as challenges to your success that you were able to kind of work with.
Yeah, I mean, being away from home all the time, and living out of a hotel and not being able to see friends and family, that takes a toll on you. And I was lucky enough to have good sponsors, so I didn't have to worry about money, fortunately. But there's obstacles that everybody has to get over, and you just have to make a plan and um, go through it. But being away from home and friends and not really having a home, that was the biggest for me.
Hmm. Okay. Um, what what elements of your frame of mind do you think, when talking about sports psychology and your thought process and all the different elements that go into the success, whether it be your pre-shot routine or visualizing a shot, expecting to win, what was the most influential in your achievement, do you think?
Yeah, it would be the expectation. I mean, you really have to believe it, but once, if you truly expect to be able to do something, I believe that you can do it. If you replay that over and over, it's going to become ingrained. And you know um, I totally saw myself being able to win, not faking it or telling people that I thought I could, but really not believing it. I really believed that I could. And my pre-shot routine was pretty solid. I didn't deviate from that even when I was playing bad or playing well. It was always the same. And um, the guys on TV, I can tell if just the way they're playing. Like if Tiger's 2 shots ahead on the last hole at Augusta on Sunday, he might be a little nervous, but he's just going through his routine like normal, and it's just another round for those guys. Like if they were really nervous, they'd be hitting it, everywhere, and they wouldn't be playing as well. I think it's total expectation and feeling comfortable in the moment.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point there, and probably, I don't know, but you can maybe comment on this. But when you were, finishing second and third and fourth in leading up to your win, were you more nervous in those situations, and that sort of, I mean, nervous can be a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. But do you think that affected your comfort level, and that the more comfortable you got, the more focused and relaxed that you could be out there, or was that not an influence?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Obviously, the more you become comfortable with something, the better you're going to be at it. I was pretty comfortable from the get-go. When I finished second, I was a little bit nervous, but I was just as nervous, teeing it up on the fourth year on the first hole. It's
Yeah,
I was pretty good with nerves. I didn't really get nervous at all.
yeah. I guess I think probably a high percentage of people watching, PGA Tour players on TV wonder how can they be so, comfortable and not nervous in that situation. But I think what you're saying is just the expectation to be there and the confidence level, and they're not nervous really. They are a little bit for sure, but
That's all it is. It's expectations, and I expect to be there. And
yeah,
I'm pretty certain that they're very, very rarely nervous.
yeah, okay,
In any situation.
great. Well, this has been great. I really appreciate your comments and um, your sharing your experience on with your victory on the Canadian Tour and how it was that you were able to get there and congratulations on that win. I think that was fantastic. So, any final comments that you'd like to make?
Um, well, just for anyone that's listening, just be confident in yourself, and it does take a lot of work to become successful at anything, and um, the better you get, the more stronger your mental game will have to be, and the most important thing is to expect to do well and to expect to be there, and the more you do that, the less you're going to be nervous if you're a nervous player. But um, it's just all about expectations, I think, and
Great.
if you expect something, it will happen.
Yeah, well, I think that's great advice. So, I think when you make it an expectation and you make it as real as possible, then it's more likely to become that for you. So, well, I think that's a perfect way to end our call today, Craig. Thanks for joining me.
All right, thanks for having me.
Okay, thanks, Craig.
Bye.